We have analyzed the speech by Barack Obama called A More Perfect Union.
In Obama's speech, he starts out with a foundation of both logos and pathos, page 107, line 4-8, where he uses a lot of historical information about the farmers and scholars back in the 1787, where they tried to escape tyranny to get their declaration of independence to get a better life. He used some facts about the past in America and how the people back then tried to make a better place, not only for themselves, but also for the future. These facts do definitely affect the citizens in America, and it induced some feelings.
And on page 108, line 20-21, he used ethos, and he says, "Gone to some of the best schools in America." Obama is illustrating that he does have the authority and experience to make these statements about America. There are also some ethos that isn't directly in the text, but because we know that he is the president, people will automatically put some more trust in his words. Obama also uses ethos by mentioning his own family on page 108, line 16-20, where he says something about that both black and white people raised him and how his black wife has a slave history.
Yes, and Obama, he brings his speech on a little more personal level. On page 2, line 28-31, in his statement, he's using ethos as he portrays himself not as a part of the biggest elite, but as a trusting person who understands the nation. And on page 107, line 17-20, we can see that Obama has chosen to use the rhetorical tool that we call anaphor, because Obama repeats the word "a constitution" because he wants us to really notice the fact that the Constitution promised the people liberty. So he's using the same phrase to really draw the reader's attention directly to the message of the sentence. And Obama, he also uses a lot of words, he also compares a lot of words and phrases. He says through protests and struggles, and on the streets and in the courts, through civil war and through civil disobedience. Yeah, I cannot pronounce. He also says white and black and brown and such things, because he wants to make a balance between the words, so he's not on one side.
And both in the speech by Martin Luther King, "I Have a Dream," and in this speech by Obama, they want more freedom in USA, they want equality between the black people and the white people, and they both use a lot of anaphor. It makes the speeches sound like some kind of phenomenon, like if their speech is going to change and save the world. Obama's speech starts with "we the people" in order to form a more perfect union, and he starts by talking about the people and that they should make a difference. And Martin Luther King starts his speech with 50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today, signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Unlike Obama's speech, he starts from the past, where Obama starts with the present time. But already in the next line in Obama's speech, he also talks about the past, and then they both talk about the present, and in the end about the future for America.
They both use pathos in their speech. They both mention that they are black and that they started from the bottom and talks about how they have made it to the top. They also use logos. For example, Martin Luther King's speech, he says, "But 100 years later, the Negro is still not free. It is information and just how it is. So he's kind of know what he talks about and how the world is today. However, there's actually a little different between the speeches because of Obama's and Luther's past. Luther was actually a part of the law classes, and therefore he had experienced how it's like to be oppressed. Obama was not born in a rich family, but he wasn't in a lower class either. Obama had different experience. Obama had experienced racism because he's black, but his life had not been as hard as Martin Luther King's life. Because of that, there are more trusting in the words of Luther than the words of Obama, because Martin Luther King have been through the poorness.
Okay. He starts out with explaining that the Constitution created all men equal. He's himself son of a white woman and a black man. So he has some great points on how about the older generation has affected all people's lives today. And these points are especially clear in the beginning of the speech, where he mentions how people formerly were fighting for freedom and democracy. Democratic. He also mentions the formally on page 107, line 26, and on page 2, line 2. He mentions how the black people really were fighting, even through struggle and protest. He thinks that all people in America have a duty to take care for the population and the future. In his speech, the most important point is how to get a more free and equal America. And to make his point clear, he mentions the formerly slavery, how older generations should help, and he especially attach importance on that all the citizens want the same, and because of that, they need to fight together.